she's a unique combination of size with guard-like skill. She can get to the rim, she can handle the ball, she can shoot it. I think she's one of the most improved players in the country.
Cassandre Prosper of Notre Dame women's basketball this season for making just 7 starts in her first 3 seasons with the Irish, to starting all 17 games this season. It's been a huge drop for Cassandre, and numbers tell the story here. She's averaging 16.6 points and 7.9 boards. That's career highs by a wide margin. She's had 6 double-doubles this season that came over an 8-game window, with 0 double-doubles entering the season. So, Cassandre, how are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Cassandre, I mentioned, all of the growth that you've seen this season. When you look at the season and the leaps you've made, where does that really start for you?
I think it starts probably 3 years ago when I came to Notre Dame. My role's been different, very different from this year, but I've grown a lot as a player all these years. Learning to grow with great players around me, and then being able to embrace my role this year and be more of a dominant player.
You put in a lot of work in the weight room. You've been there for 3 seasons. You enrolled early, so you're very familiar with the program. What part of your game do you feel like has made the biggest jump this season?
I'll definitely say I think my confidence, assertiveness, I think that's the biggest part. I feel like on the court, skill wise, I've improved my shooting, I've improved my field goal percentage, all that stuff. But I think the biggest part is just being assertive on the court and just knowing that I have full confidence, full trust in myself, and to be able to make key plays and to be a dominant player on the court.
Yeah, and you mentioned the confidence all throughout there. That kind of leads me into my next question. How much of it is confidence versus opportunity? You talked about only starting 7 games, but you clearly wrote it out with Coach Ivey. You guys have a great relationship. How much of it is confidence? How much of it is an opportunity? Is it kind of a balance of both?
Definitely a balance of both. I think the confidence, my confidence has always been there, but it's definitely grown when I've had the opportunity to really be a key player. Having my role increase this year has increased my confidence for sure. And I think just, having this summer to really work on my game only and not playing with Team Canada and just being able to really focus on what the intangibles that I want to improve on, and then being able to be a leader too on the team and knowing that I have to lead by example every day has increased my confidence tremendously. And then just on the court, just making sure that I'm leading my team the right way.
You mentioned not being with Team Canada this summer after kind of getting to be with them for the Olympic training camp and all that stuff in 2024. What kind of led to that decision to stay in South Bend this past summer?
Yeah, I mean, I love playing team for Team Canada. Playing for my country is an amazing opportunity, and I absolutely love doing that. But I feel like I've been playing Team Canada since I was 16 every summer. So I think this year going into my senior year was an important year to be with Notre Dame, especially we were rebuilding. We had like 7 transfers. So I wanted to make sure that I could set the culture, lay the foundation right during the summer and just be present really for everyone.
You didn't miss a lift all season, this past summer.
Mm.
What was that kind of like, seeing that pay off? How did that kind of feel
Yeah.
physically, getting to be there all summer with your teammates?
Yes, I feel like I'm at my best physically I've ever been. And I definitely attribute it to our strength coach, Clive, during the summer. I feel like our training was very purposeful, but also, knowing that the work that you put in every day, consistency is really what's key here. I think confidence and consistency go hand in hand. So being able to be consistent during the summer and then now having it play out on the court is amazing.
Where did you kind of realize that that work was paying off physically? Because obviously you've seen a big jump rebounding, and rebounding, it's not always the most fun thing. It's work, it's physical work down there on the block. So, when did you realize that, was work paying off physically?
I think definitely probably in practice. I mean, our practice guys are really strong. So knowing that, I mean, we've had the same practice guys maybe for 1 or 2 years. So like comparing myself from last year to this year and just seeing how I'm able to move with them and just being able to box them out and get rebounds and yeah, definitely in practice, but now, physically, you when I play a lot of minutes, I think the biggest part is having stamina to be able to be consistent on the court regardless of how many minutes I play. So rebounding, rebounding the whole game, not just, the first quarter, the first half. That's what I'm really happy about.
I was also told you kind of bought in on the nutritional side of things on your own time, cooking, stuff like that. Tell me a little bit about that, what you're making and how that's been for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely started that. I think when I got hurt my sophomore year, that's when I really like started locking in into my nutrition. Um, Not everybody knows this, but like last season, I went the whole season pescatarian. I was trying to see how that felt. It's not really, I think it's a balance, eating healthy. My body does so much for me. Um, During the year, during the season that I want to be able to reward it with the right nutrients. Like I want to like help you feel better so that you can help me. That's kind of the way I see it. So I've been really like purposeful with the way I eat and just knowing that if I fuel my body the right way, then I'll be able to perform my best on the court.
When did you really see that kind of jump when you feel it more physically on the court?
Yeah.
Like, how do you feel like this approach has made you more consistent night to night?
I just feel like I have more energy. Like I know what I'm putting in my body. And then like when you combine like strength, work on the court, work off the court, mental work, and then nutrition, like all of these combined together, that's when I feel like I can really be my best. And that's where I feel like I'm the most confident when it's like everything that I do for myself is towards like the player that I want to be.
Mhm.
That's how I viewed it, especially this summer. And then now it's just like continuing that routine. Yeah.
You spent, all four of your seasons with Coach Ivey here at
Mhm.
Notre Dame, in an era where a lot of players that come out of high school like you as, five-star recruits already playing with their national team, getting hurt in your sophomore season, a lot of those players might enter the transfer portal or go try something else. What was it about Notre Dame and sticking with them throughout these four seasons that's paid off? And, why was that so important to you?
Yeah, definitely Coach Ivy. I mean, since the recruiting process, she has been so consistent and very respectful. And I think the biggest part was when I got hurt, our relationship got even closer. I wasn't doing anything for her on the court, and she was making sure to stay consistent and keep that relationship a priority for her. So I felt like I was at the right, the people are always what matter the most. And I mean, the people at Notre Dame have always been amazing to me, and I knew that I wouldn't find that anywhere else. So I wasn't looking to go anywhere else. And then I knew that my opportunity was going to come to, and my trust never wavered from Coach Ivy in any way.
You come from Canada. There's over 150 girls playing college basketball from Canada this season, and a lot of those are right here in the ACC. Yourself, Toby Fournier at two, Jada at Pitt, Fatima at Pitt. There's a lot of
Mhm.
great Canadian talent in women's college basketball this season. How cool has that been to see, and what does that say about the game in Canada and its growth?
Oh, it's amazing. I mean, every time I turn on the TV, it's like, oh, I know her. We play on the national team together. Like, it's great. I think it's beautiful to put Canada on the map, especially with the Toronto Tempo coming up in the WNBA. Like having that visibility in college is amazing. And like I could just see like basketball, just especially women's basketball, growing so much in Canada because of the visibility that we have, and then the girls that we get to inspire.
And you got to spend some time with Team Canada, obviously since you were 16, but last summer for the Paris Olympics. Just kind of share what that was like.
Oh my gosh. I mean, the Olympics, like, I'm trying to think the best. Our first game was against France, so we were at like playing at home for them. And you hear your national anthem. So hearing the Canadian national anthem and then like having everyone there, it's just a surreal feeling. I mean, for me, like being an Olympian has always been one of my goals. And then also, especially coming off of that injured year where I was like, okay, like the Olympics are coming up and I want to be part of that team. So it was an amazing accomplishment and being there with my teammates and just, I think I really learned so much. And you're playing against, top pros like around the world. So that's just like, yeah, it's amazing. And then you go to the dining hall and you see Giannis there and Jokic there. Like, it's just cool. It's fun. You're surrounded by greatness, really. That's the best part of it. You're surrounded by greatness, the best of the world.
Yeah, you mentioned being surrounded by greatness and a lot of NBA, WNBA talent.
Mm.
Notre Dame's produced a lot of WNBA talent. Another school that you guys
Yep.
will get to play tonight in UConn has produced a ton of WNBA talent. Kind of what challenges do they provide for you guys, but also how big of an opportunity is it, getting to play in a game with these two such storied programs?
Yeah, I mean, Notre Dame and UConn have a huge, deep rivalry. So we get to, bring the attention on Notre Dame and just recognize all the history that's come before us. I feel like it's a huge, it's a huge game for us as a program. I mean, playing as the number one team in the country is going to be a great way for us to measure ourselves and just compete. We want to be the best that we could be on that stage. And so it's going to be fun. I'm excited. I'm excited to see how much we've grown from, our past games and like every year we play UConn. So every year we get another opportunity and I'm excited. Yeah.
Son, that's really all the questions I have for you, but I want to leave you with kind of a fun one. We talked a little bit or a lot about your growth, in all the numbers you're putting up this season. If you could go back and kind of tell that early enrollee freshman self one thing, what would you tell her, based on what you've been able to do?
Wow, I would tell her, mm, just be present. Yeah.
Well, Son, we really appreciate your time and congratulations on the great season that you've had thus far, and best of luck to you and your team the rest of the season.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.